Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel and welcome to Garbaugust 4, the final chapter. Okay, so don't be alarmed. I don't think Garbaugust is going to end, but it's called the final chapter because that's what the original Friday the 13th was called. So Olly came up with the idea. It's Olly's event and it's awesome. It's something that I will always be involved with, and I've been lucky enough to be another co-host. So I've been co-hosting this, I think, since it began. I can't remember, but certainly, oh no, I think maybe, I can't remember. But anyway, last few years. And it's a great event. I'll explain quickly what it is, and then I've got some notes here with my special Brown Yelp Gang notebook here. I've got some notes here about the prompts and stuff, and I'm going to go through some books that I can read. I'm doing this fairly early, so there are some details I'm not going to have. So I haven't got the full bingo card, which I'll put at the end of the video, and I haven't got the names of our pseudonyms. Haven't got that yet, or even the names of all the co-hosts. So that's going to go in the description, and there's a group read as well, which last year was Valley of the Dolls, and I will put that in the description as well. So look out for that. So please read the description, and you'll get the bits that I just haven't been able to do now because I'm doing it earlier than some of that information's coming out. But anyway, Garbaugust. It's a celebration of trash in books, so trash fiction mostly, but there is some non-fiction that we can include as well. So basically, Olly's definition of trash is not bad books. So just to clarify that, it's not about bad. We're not deliberately reading crap fiction because that'd be ridiculous. Our lives are so busy, or certainly my life is so busy, I wouldn't get involved in an event like that. This is an event that celebrates stuff that would be deemed by critics and society and even the publishing industry as trash. So they're just chucking it out. So it's stuff that's a bit exploitative, stuff that's a bit riffing off a trend, something that's living off a celebrity status, something that's pulling you in for something salacious or violent, that kind of thing. So, you know, something and possibly something you'd be ashamed to love, but you might love it. That kind of thing. That's what Garbaugust is all about. That's what it's celebrating. And I think it's really refreshing because obviously your first port of call for a thing on YouTube where we study books or we analyze books or we talk about books or we share our love of books, you're going to get a lot of academic analysis of books and a lot of people pushing for people to read difficult books or to really struggle through a book or to praise the classics constantly. So this is such a nice event where it's about, actually, if you're enjoying that book and it's fun and it's not supposed to be like incredibly clever or incredibly deep or whatever, then why not relish the fact you're enjoying it and just enjoy it? Don't worry about it. Don't feel guilty about enjoying it. So this is like a reaffirmation of the guilty pleasure, I think, this event, which is why it's so nice, I think. So this year, as I said, it's chapter 4, the final chapter. And the weekly prompts are from the 1st to the 10th. It's anything goes. You can read whatever you want. There's no parameters, just anything within that definition of trash. From the 1st to the 10th. From the 11th to the 17th, it's about shock value. So reading something like stupidly violent or pointlessly violent or sexual. So it could be something that, you know, one of those men's adventure ones where they keep bedding women for no reason whatsoever, or it could be a Jackie Collins thing. You know, she was definitely out for shock value, that kind of. So there's like, you know, men's fiction and chick lit versions of that kind of thing. So shock value, paperbacks from hell would come through that as well. And Olly says underneath, anything that sells itself on salacious or violent material. And then the 18th to the 24th. Cozy trash. So I don't really have a lot of cozy trash. So he's suggesting mysteries with cats in them because there's a bit of a trend. And again, this goes into the trash thing because his idea is that if a publishing house is just churning out stuff that he thinks is what people want or that they think people want, that's what the definition of trash is about. And if you love those kind of things, then you're going to love it, whether or not people are going to consider it trash. So cat mysteries with cats in them is definitely a bit of a trend. So that's why he's put that down as a possibility. I'm not sure what I can do in that week, so we'll see. But it could be memoirs, like celebrity memoirs could be a thing there, because that's kind of cozy, because, you know, it's a very easy read. So it could be that sort of thing. I was double checking with the group, but I don't know yet. And then 25th to the 31st, the last week's prompt, which again I don't think I've got much of, but I can look at. I like the idea. Apocalyptic trash. So that's definitely a reference to our crazy world at the moment and how everything's gone to shit. And you know, we can escape into a book and imagine ourselves in a Mad Max situation. So there are obviously tons of stuff out there. I mean, one of the Garbaugust years, I read the Survivalist book, one of those, The Web, I think it was, I read, which is all right. But I could read another one of those. I don't know. They're definitely post-apocalyptic. So yeah, there is definitely some trash out there that are post-apocalyptic. So there is a bingo card, and we've added some more. Or Ollie's come up with some more prompts for the bingo card, or at least he's playing with some ideas. So again, this is not finalised, but there will be a bingo card at the end of the video. So a debunked self-help book could be one of them. A last book in a series. Celeb memoir by someone who's not famous anymore. I think that's quite funny. So it could be a really obscure person who's reading although that's kind of true for one of my options, actually. One that's a book that's just pure filth. So just unadulterated, disgusting stuff. Local trash. A novel by a politician. And famously, Bill Clinton did one with James Patterson, I think. Killer animals. And non-killer animals. So anything with an animal in it. So those are the prompts anyway that Ollie's come up with. So that's our kind of parameters. But within that, just read stuff in that definition of what trash is. So my first recommendation is the Garbology book that was released last year. I was very proud to be included in this. There is a follow-up book that Alex from Alex Unabridged and Olly are editing called Trash Tales. But this is, if you've got this, then please read it. But if you haven't got it, when this video comes out, it might actually be out of print by now, which would be a bit of a shame. But there we are. Troy made that decision so that maybe it was a bit of a flash in the pan thing to make it more special. I'm not sure. But if you do have this, definitely read it. It's really good. And it features lots of people from BookTube, which is great. And yeah, my story Itch is in there. So that's a recommendation. I'm going to mention this next, which is called CB Angel. And this is a very special book, because this is a book that is absolutely Garbaugust heavy. But this is a book that's been traveling around the world. This is, I don't know what to call it, but I was trying to come up with a name before I did the video and then got distracted, stopped thinking about it. But it's a book on the move. And so far, I have a little list here of where it's been. And once I read it, I'll write my name in it and send it to somebody else, which is pretty cool. So far, Roy Reads Anything. Roy from Roy Reads Anything's had it. Olly from Criminally then had it. And then MJ from Reading This Life. And then Dave from Boob Lather had it. And now I've got it. So this is, I've been told it's kind of a little bit racy and definitely trashy book about truck drivers and hitchhikers. So that should be fun. So CB Angel, I'm definitely reading. This is one I found recently that is just really weird. So when we think about exploitative fiction in films or in books or whatever, in comics or whatever, we don't normally associate that with serious, heavy topics because it would be in bad taste and probably really offensive. And this is really, really weird. I found this. It's an old New English Library paperback written by Robert Vaughan and Mistress of the Lash. And it looks like it's going to be some kind of salacious, trashy book set in the slave trade, which could be horrendous. So, yeah. I'll read this and I'll probably be quite shocked. So yeah, this is definitely going to be something I read as well. That is definitely Garbaugust friendly. In the past, I have read Nick Carter books for Garbaugust, and I found this absolutely mint condition old one called Cairo. And Nick Carter is definitely men's adventure, one man on his own, shooting everybody and sleeping with women, kind of spy thing. So yeah, this is clearly set in Cairo. So this is definitely one I might read. They're kind of very easy reads, but yeah, it could be a bit of fun. So it could be Nick Carter's Cairo. I bought this partly because I was so stunned at the condition. It's literally new. Crazy, because it's clearly a very old paperback. It's before the barcode. And then for June on the Range, I read the first book of the Edge series called The Loner, and I really enjoyed it. And I've got the next two, so I could read the next two. The second one prompted a very passionate video from Jim from Mystery Mayhem, who was really offended by some of this. So it's kind of put me off a bit, but I also think I would want to read more in the series because I really enjoyed the first one. So I think I will read the second one, but I'm clearly going to come across some really horrible treatment of women in it, which is what he talks about in the video. So we'll see what happens. But then I've got the third one as well. So we'll see. But the first one I thought was really good. This is one I've included. A very good writer and, a very famous writer as well. But the title just sounds really trashy to me. And it definitely pulls you in. I bought this because of the title. So this is a short story collection called Baby in the Icebox. I have to read at least the story Baby in the Icebox. James M. Cain, so obviously most famous for Postman Always Rings Twice, which is a fantastic book. Baby in the Icebox. So obviously, while I'm doing this, I've just had a confirmation come up that the celebrity memoirs definitely fit into the cozy trash week. That's quite nice. Paperbacks from Hell. Paperbacks from Hell has always been a part of Garbaugust. And I have got quite a lot of paperbacks from Hell. There are several I could pick from, but there's two here from Ramsey Campbell I really read. There's one that I've been dying to have for ages, and I couldn't believe it. I found a really nice conditioned one randomly in a bookshop for £1. It's ridiculous because this is so expensive on eBay. But The Doll Who Ate His Mother by Ramsey Campbell, I've got that. So an absolute classic, very famous, and something I've really wanted to read for a long time. So The Doll Who Ate His Mother, I'm definitely reading this in Garbaugust. And another one, which could be an option, is The Face That Must Die, which is another really famous Ramsey Campbell one. So that was really nice to see. As far as novelizations go, novelizations have always been a part of Garbaugust. I'm kind of looking at Alien a little bit here, although I have got those Planet of the Apes books as well, which I haven't got with me now, but I've got tons of Planet of the Apes books, so I could go into that as well. But these Alien books, so this is the whole, this is the first 3 books together by Andean Foster, so that could give me the way that I could read the first one. But the second and the third ones I've got here as well, because I'd rather have them individually. And these are really good condition again. So Aliens and Alien 3. I bought these. This is just, how cool is that to find a spine like that when you find it secondhand. It's a really old book like that. I bought these two when I met up with Aaron from Aaron Read a Book. So that was really nice to see him. And we went to the open book market down by Waterloo Bridge. And I bought those two then. So Aliens 2, Aliens, and Alien 3. Definitely could read those anyway. Alan Dean Foster, and I'm going to try and do a big Alan Dean Foster deep dive next year or something, or year after at some point. So then, last thing I want to talk about is the celeb thing. So I'm going to start with fiction written by celebrities, and then I'm going to talk about celebrity memoirs and a biography one. I'm going to end with a biography one, which is also a bit salacious and a little bit trashy, because apparently it's also full of lies, and it just sort of sensationalizes the mystery behind this particular celebrity's death. So let's start with the fiction first. I've got 3 books of fiction here. 2 of them are very famous English comedians, and this is a famous American actor. I'll start with this one actually, because this is quite mad. This is one I found, didn't even know it existed, and then I looked it up and said, oh no, it's the same guy. So Princess Naughty and the Voodoo Cadillac by Fred Willard. So Fred Willard is a mainstay on American TV and film. Very naturally funny man who, in the Christopher Guest improvisational comedies, he was an absolute star. So he's the Air Force Base officer in Spinal Tap, and he plays a huge, fantastic role as an expert in dogs in the Best in Show. And he's just a really good comedic actor. And this is a book he's written which looks like a little kind of a mad mix of lots of different things. So different kind of like maybe a haunted car, but with some random bits of the plot as well to make you a bit mad. So Fred Willard's book, Princess Naughty and the Voodoo Cadillac, sounds interesting. This just, you know, if you really read his title, you're going to want to get it, especially when you know who's written it. So one of my favourite TV personalities over here is Sandy Toksvig. I absolutely love Sandy Toksvig. I think she's awesome. And this is a book called Hitler's Canary. A daring tale of wartime adventure. Hitler's Canary. I think I'll do another video closer, I'll film another video closer to the time, maybe as we go into August, where I might read some of the backs of the things I'm definitely reading. But this is a possibility anyway. I've had this a while. I really want to read it. And another celebrity that I absolutely love to death, Bob Mortimer. He's released this book called The Satsuma Complex. He's written a few books actually, but I've got this one. And apparently it's very funny, and I'm sure it is very funny. But again, this is trash by the definition from Olly, because this is definitely a book getting sold on his name. So if he said to a publisher, I want to write a book, they'd be like, yeah, of course you can. No worries about that, because we'll sell it because of your name. And that's kind of what happens. And that's why I bought it. I bought it because I want to read a book written by Bob Mortimer. So, yeah, Bob Mortimer's Satsuma Complex should be good. So a couple of memoirs. So this is one that's a notorious British actress who is very rude and just has no filter in chat shows, and she's very lovable for it. Miriam Margolyes, and this is her memoir called This Much Is True, and it should be wicked and hilarious, wickedly hilarious. This is supposed to be really good, and I'm sure it is fun. And what I might do actually is just dip into this through the month, maybe, because I'm not really, I read memoirs quite slowly, but I am keen because she's quite a character. So that's one thing. And then I've got Joe Jackson's book, which I've read before, but I want to read it again, Cure for Gravity, because I read it a long time. I read it when it came out, so I want to read it again. He's one of my favourite singer-songwriters, and he's from Portsmouth, and he still lives in Portsmouth, which is awesome, because that's where I live. And sometimes you can see him, and you're like, that's Joe Jackson in the wild. But he doesn't like being talked to. He doesn't like being disturbed. So he's got that reputation. But a fantastic musician and songwriter, Joe Jackson. Right, so I'm just going to leave it with this one. This is one that I've looked for a long time. So if you know my channel, you know that I'm really heavily into the Marx Brothers. I'm a big fan of them. And I collect books about the Marx Brothers. And this is like a Marx Brothers adjacent book, because this is a book about someone that was in 2 of their films. And considering they didn't make that many films, that's quite a big thing, that she was the main female lead in 2 of their films. Monkey Business and Horse Feathers. 2 of the best films. And she is amazing. Her comic timing is incredible. And she'd already had quite a prolific film career before she did those films, because she was famous as part of 2 different female duos, comedy duos, in the 1920s. So it's kind of interesting. She's a very interesting character. And I knew that this book existed, which was an investigation, like a bit about her life, but also about her mysterious death, which apparently may have involved the mafia. So this is a book called Hot Toddy by Andy Edmonds, and I do really want to read it. So this is a very likely one for this year's Garbaugust, but it does have the thing that makes it even more trashier than just the fact it's a celeb biography kind of thing, is that and the nature of her death is it has got this sort of Hollywood Confidential kind of trashiness, where they have lied apparently about some of it. So Hot Toddy, Andy Edmonds, is the last one I was going to mention. No, it isn't. There's this one as well. I just realised. I just found this down here. This is a book that I got at a car boot sale years ago, and I forgot I had it. Sue Perkins, I think, is wonderful. I absolutely love Sue Perkins. She's a TV personality. I don't know if you can call her a comedian. I guess she probably is a comedian, but mostly a TV person, like a presenter. But she's absolutely brilliant. Everything she does is brilliant. And she was one of the main presenters of the Great British Bake Off, if you know the Great British Bake Off. But she's done loads of other things. She did a fantastic series when she went to India. Was it India? No, Japan. When she went to Japan. I don't think she's been to India since. Anyway, when she went to Japan, her series on that was fantastic. But yeah, this is a memoir of hers, and I think she's awesome. So I imagine it's very funny, and yeah, I do want to read that. But I'd forgotten I owned it. It's down there in a bunch of other stuff. So anyway, there we are. Garbaugust 2025. Garbaugust 4, the final chapter. Get involved. It's going to be a lot of fun. And as I was saying earlier, I love the fact that it just celebrates reading. There's no judgment. It's just about guilty pleasures. Just don't worry about it. Relish and enjoy the fact that you love reading, whatever you're reading, because you're enjoying it. Hats off to Olly for starting this and carrying it on. Huge hug to all the other co-hosts. Watched all the other videos. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Stay curious.
Paint me a picture